Good afternoon and welcome back to Learning to Sleep a New Way. Welcome to Lesson 1. I want to remind you the basis of anything we do when it comes to making changes around sleep is a really strong foundation of respect. Respect the uniqueness of yourself as a sleeper. Respect the uniqueness of the sleeper that you're supporting if you're a caregiver. We have 7 lessons. This is the first lesson, which is all about respectfully observing. This is the place where any intervention is going to start. Well, what do I mean by respectfully observe? I mean, when you're placed on your back in bed, what happens to your body? Now, there's a few kind of typical things that might happen. When you're placed on your back, your knees might naturally go to one side or the other. Most people go either to the left or to the right. Do your knees go together? Do they go apart? Is it always the same? Whether or not it's always the same is going to give you some really useful information about how the support's going to be provided. So as you're placed on your back in bed, do your knees go to one side or the other? Do they go together or apart? Is it always the same? Do your hips roll to one side or the other? Does your chest rotate to one side or the other? Do you lean to one side or the other? Have somebody look at your xiphoid process, right there at your sternum, and use that as a landmark. Left, right, leaned. That'll be really helpful. What happens with your feet? Do your toes go up, down, to one side or the other? Do your heels rest on the bed? What happens with your head? When your body is well supported, are you able to relax with your head more or less in the middle? Are you free to look around? Or does your head get stuck to one side? Do you have some unbalanced muscle tightness that compels your head to go to the side? And then I want you to think, just briefly, how your sleeping position is reflected in your daytime positions. And we'll talk more about that later. But very, very often, I find that the position that you sleep in is the position that your body tends to want to go during the day. So I'll give you me for an example. So as I sit here, if I slump, I kind of have a natural way that I always slump. And I think you can see what's happening. Now, when I sleep with my pillow on this side. This side of my body lengthens. This side shortens. This side shortens. This side lengthens. So again, we'll look at that some more later. The next step, after we understand what happens with your body just naturally laid on the bed, will be to add support where needed. But that's going to be the next lesson that Alex and I are going to show you is how to go through stepwise, starting with the knees, hips, chest, feet, and head, and just respectfully observe what's happening with your body. So we'll take you through that next.